circulatory system in insects. Insects have open circulatory system. If you look at the hemocoel or body cavity of the insect, it is divided into dorsal diaphragm and ventral diaphragm. Dorsal diaphragm separates pericardial sinus and perivisceral sinus, whereas ventral diaphragm it separates perineural sinus and perivisceral sinus. This pericardial sinus it contains dorsal blood vessel, whereas perivisceral sinus contains alimentary canal, and perineural sinus contains this nervous system. And if you look at the this circulatory system, the principal circulatory organ in insect is dorsal blood vessel, which is located along the dorsal side of the insect, and it contains anterior aorta and posterior heart chambers. And the posterior part of the dorsal blood vessel is closed, and it contains heart chambers. Each heart chamber consists of a pair of openings at the base. This is called as ostia, and ostium is a singular. On either side of the ostia, it contains a pair of alary muscles. So these are all alary muscles. These muscles helps in contraction and expansion of the heart. When these alary muscles expands, blood from different parts of the body this enter into the heart chamber through the opening called as ostia, and later that forward movement of the that blood takes place due to the contraction of alary muscles. So this phase is called as systole phase. So once blood moves and it reaches this base of the aorta, and aorta means it's just like a tubular part of the dorsal blood vessel which opens at the base of the brain, but it lacks ostia. That means ostia are absent in aorta. So due to the contraction of these alary muscles, blood moves forward, and this blood comes out through the aorta and reaches different parts of the body. And but in these appendages like legs, wings and antenna, the blood moves with the help of accessory pulsatile organ. So these organs present at the base of the appendages, which helps in pumping up blood to these appendages. There are three phases involved in the blood movement. First one is the diastole phase, that is expansion of heart muscles, and that is alary muscles. Systole phase means contraction of alary muscles. Diastasis means expanded condition of the heart after diastole. In simple words, the heart rests in a expanded condition. The activity of the heart is controlled by both myogenic and neurogenic. Myogenic nothing but without any neural inputs, that is activity is controlled not controlled by nerves, and neurogenic means activity is controlled by nerve cells. The activity of the heart is controlled by both myogenic and neurogenic. And if you look at the chemical properties of the blood, haemolymph accounts for 10 to 40% of the total volume of the insect. This usually haemolymph is colorless, but except in chironomids, where haemolymph is red in color. And it's 84 to 92% of this haemolymph contains water, and pH ranges from 6.4 to 6.8. There are different amino acids, proteins, enzymes, sugars, lipids, ionic composition. These are all the pigments, hormones, anti-freezing compounds. So these are all present in the haemolymph. But if you look at the haemolymph blood sugar present in insect is trehalose, present in almost all the insect. insects except in Diptera, where glucose is present in the insect haemolymph. And if you look at the ionic composition in phytophagous haemolymph, that is rich in potassium ions, whereas entomophagous haemolymph is rich in sodium ions. That means insect feeds on other insect like predators and parasitoids. Next one is types of haemocytes and their functions. These are all the haemocytes present in insect haemolymph. First one is prohaemocyte. These are the smallest haemocytes which account for less than 5% of the total haemolymph. And second one is plasmatocytes. These are the most abundant haemocytes which comprises more than 30% of the total haemocytes, which are involved in phagocytosis and encapsulation. Phagocytosis means small number of bacteria, fungal spores or protozoans are engulfed by these plasmatocytes. Whereas encapsulation means when large invaders like parasitoid larvae or nematodes enter into the insect body, initially these granulocytes recognizes the invaders like nematodes or parasitoid larvae, and then it releases cell content that is called as coagulum. This granulocyte releases its cell content and then it attracts the plasmatocytes. So this which forms the several layers around these invaders and kill the invaders. Next one is granulocytes. Granulocytes are also called as coagulocytes or cystocytes. These granulocytes comprises more than 30% of the total haemocytes, and the function is involved in nodule formation. Nodule formation means large number of bacteria, fungal spores enter into the insect body. These granulocytes recognizes and releases its content called as coagulum and trapped in the coagulum. These invaders are trapped in the coagulum, so which forms a nodule type structure or knot like structure. And coagulation of blood and wound healing means in order to protect the site of injury from the pathogenic infection, these coagulocytes rupture its cells at the site of injury. So it forms a layer and then it prevents the loss of blood and wound healing. Next one is spirulocytes. Spirulocytes are not very common but involved in some secondary function. Voenocytes, these are the largest haemocytes found mainly in lepidopterans. These cells are responsible for lipid processing and detoxification. Ademohemocytes, these are also called as lipocytes. So these lipocytes mainly these cells contains lipid droplets. Haemolymph performs several functions. It creates hydrostatic pressure which helps in ecdysis, that is molting, wing expansion in adults, eclosion in Diptera, and eversion of osmotoria in papilionid larvae, and eversion of mask in naiads of dragonflies. And these hemolymphs also involved in transportation and storage of nutrients and hormones, and it involved in some protective functions like phagocytosis, encapsulation, detoxification, coagulation and wound healing. And whereas it also involved in regulation of body heat, that is thermoregulation, and it helps in maintaining the osmotic pressure, this which is required for normal physiological functions, and it also involved in metabolic reactions. So that's it about insect circulatory system. If you have any doubts, please comment below the video. Thank you.